Chapter 162. The War, Moody's Story. He came to in a small white room with a low ceiling striped with black beams. There was a little square window, but the curtains were drawn over. Someone had washed the blood off him, thank goodness, though he could still smell it, faintly, and taste it too. He was lying in a single bed, and other than a little bedside table with an old lamp on it, there wasn't much else in the room. The door was slightly ajar, and Remus could hear voices in the corridor outside. "Marlene's here!" James' voice came through clearly. "Should I let her up? Did you ask him any questions?" "Yeah, send her up. He's not awake," Sirius said, his voice sounding odd. "But it's definitely him. Has to be." "You're sure?" "The first thing he said when he landed was fuck, I'm pretty certain," Sirius snapped. "Fair," James replied, without humour. He lowered his voice to a whisper. "Padfoot, all that blood, and with the attack last night." "Well, let's just see what he has to say before we jump to any conclusions, shall we? Send Marlene up. But if it's not safe, then I'll stay in the bloody room. Can we please just get someone to look at him, for fuck's sake? He hasn't even got a wand." Okay. James relented. God, Remus thought, as shame settled over him like dust. They think I'm not me. They think I'm a spy. How bad had the war become in the month he'd been away? He racked his brain quickly for a way to prove his identity. The thought of Sirius not trusting him was too painful to bear. There was a mess of footsteps in the hall outside, and finally the door opened. Remus tried to sit up at once, pulling himself up by his arms as Sirius entered the room. "Padfoot, I swear it's me. It's Moody. I helped you make the Marauder's map. We put rose hips in Snivelis's bed, and we went skating out on the lake at Christmas, and I hated it, but you were really good, and shh, Moody," Sirius soothed, sitting on the bed carefully and placing gentle hands on his shoulder. "Lie down, for fuck's sake. Godric knows what you broke apparating like that, you silly sod." "You know it's me." Remus gripped Sirius's arms, but allowed himself to be put back to bed. "Of course I do." Sirius leaned over and kissed his forehead. "I'd know you anywhere. Look, sorry about Prongs. He's just on edge. Things have been a bit—" All right, give him some room." Sirius whipped around as Marlene stormed into the room, green healer robes flying and a leather bag in hand. She shoved Sirius off the bed and leaned over Remus, laying a cool hand on his forehead and looking into his eyes, her freckled face full of sweet concern. She smiled. "Hello, sweetheart," she said softly. "Where have you been? You've had us all worried sick." "Hi, Marlene." Remus smiled back fondly. "Did you qualify as a healer while I was gone?" "Hardly," she laughed. "Still very much a novice. But I'm the best that the Order could come up with at such short notice, so—" She straightened up, hands on her hips. "Right, what's the damage?" "Hurt my ankle." Remus reached down to pull up the blanket over his sore foot. It looked awful in the light of day, all swollen and black with bruising. Sirius covered his mouth, but Marlene just tutted. "Easy enough." She tapped it with her wand, and Remus felt a funny tickling feeling before pop, and it was as good as new. "You still need to rest," Marlene cautioned. "You're a legend, Miles," Remus said gratefully, then began to cough that rough, raspy bark he'd got almost used to now. "Sorry," he spluttered, eyes watering. "Got a bit of a cough." Sirius was wincing and looked more distressed than ever, hands still over his mouth. Marlene pulled down the bedsheets and lay her head directly on Remus's bare chest, listening. "Bit of a cough, my arse," she tutted, surfacing. "You've got a stonking great chest infection is what." She began emptying her bag, pulling out ointments and potion bottles. "I'll have to ask someone at St. Mungo's what's best for that. I haven't done infections yet. Now, Madame Pomfrey asked me to make sure you've got this. It's her own sleeping draught. I'm working on one myself, but hers will be stronger." "Don't give it to him yet!" Suddenly James was in the room, startling forward with his arms out. Everyone turned to look at him, and he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Sorry. It's just that I finally got hold of Mad Eye, and he's on his way." "Yeah, it's fine," Remus said to the room. Marlene tutted again. She set the potion down on the bedside table. "One of you make sure he drinks the whole thing as soon as possible, okay?" She gave James and Sirius a severe look, and they both nodded earnestly. "I have to go back to work before I'm missed," she said, straightening up once more. She squeezed Remus's hand. "So happy to have you back, darling." He squeezed back, feeling a bit better about everything. They cared about him. He was safe with them. He lay back on his pillow and tried to focus on that feeling. James and Sirius stood about awkwardly. "Hi, Prongs," Remus tried, a bit wary. "Hiya, Moony." James smiled, his eyes tired and dark. "You all right?" "Felt worse." James made a sound that wasn't quite a laugh. "Where are we, anyway?" Remus asked, looking around at the poky little room. "Cornwall," Sirius said. "Remember the pub near the castle? I rented a room. When you got here, I didn't want to move you. Seemed like the best place, out of the way." "Does anyone else know?" "No," James said. "Only us, Marlene and Moody. Things have been hard. With the attacks last night, we thought..." "Attack?" Remus sat up again as the events of the night before came flooding back in a riot of blood and teeth and hair. "Shit! What happened? Was anyone... "Not on our side," Sirius said. That didn't make Remus feel any better, but he tried to look happy about it. He couldn't let his friends know just how blurry the lines between our side and their side had become for him. "Moony," James started. "Last night, were you there?" The door swung open once more, creaking loudly, and Alistair Moody came hobbling into the room, his face set with a look of grim determination. James and Sirius backed out of the way as Mad Eye approached Remus's bed. Remus's first instinct was to duck under his blankets and hide like a little kid. "Lupin," Moody nodded, his electric blue magical eye whirring in its socket, giving him a very thorough once-over. "You made it back, then?" "Yeah," Remus croaked. Moody held his wand up, pointing it at Remus's face. "Oi!" Sirius started, but James held out an arm to stop him. Moody fixed Remus with a very serious gaze. "Mother's maiden name?" Jenkins," Remus stuttered, terrified. Moody nodded and lowered his wand. "No offence," he said, glancing at Sirius. "Protocol." "Right," Remus swallowed, heart pounding. "How are you? Been seen to?" "Marlene was here a few minutes ago," James said. "She'll be back later." "No one else, do you hear?" Moody said. "Not until I say so. We need to limit his exposure for now, until the furor dies down." He waved his wand, and a chair appeared from thin air. Moody sat down and looked at Remus once more. "Potter, Black, you can go." "No," Sirius said, raising his chin. His defiant look hadn't changed since he was 11. "I'm not going anywhere." Moody gave him another look, his tongue playing in the corner of his mouth. "Fine," he grunted. "But keep your mouth shut. I don't want to hear a peep. Got it?" I'd better go," James said, rubbing the back of his head again. "Sorry, Moony, I need to get home." "Of course," Remus said, though he didn't really understand. Did James no longer trust him? James said something to Sirius before leaving, but Remus didn't catch it and didn't try to eavesdrop. He was too busy holding his nerve against Moody. He wasn't up to a battle of wills, not after the last few weeks. Now that he knew the building they were in was Muggle, he felt the absence of magic more keenly. He'd been used to the enchanted forest, with its unending pool of shared power. Back in the real world, everything felt so mundane. He felt weaker than ever, and began to cough again. James left, and Sirius handed Remus a glass of water. "This can't take too long," Sirius said to Moody. "He's supposed to rest after a full moon." "Marlene said not a peep, Black," Moody snapped, his blue eyes fixing Sirius with a hard stare, the normal brown one still watching Remus. Sirius was quiet, but he was clearly not happy about it. He folded his arms petulantly and looked away. Remus felt a rush of love for him, the spoilt brat. "I was there last night," Remus said, quickly to get things moving. He thought it was probably best to be as honest as possible from the beginning. "I was at the Tonks' house. I know what happened. Well, most of it. Did anyone... "One body recovered," Moody said. "One of Greyback's." "Gaius," Remus said. He wasn't sure how he felt. He'd killed someone. "Let's not start there," Moody said, watching his face. "I want to start at the beginning. Where have you been for the past month? Leave nothing out." Remus was weak and exhausted and sore, but he was not an idiot. He left plenty out. He also said a lot more than was probably safe. He didn't look at Sirius the whole time. He knew that would make things impossible. He explained how the pack had kidnapped him and locked him up for a week and a half, how he'd finally met with Greyback. He heard Sirius breathe in sharply at this, but Moody's expression didn't even flicker. He told them most of the things Greyback had said, though he knew none of it was useful to anyone except him. He confirmed that the pack had been working with Voldemort, keeping the old families scared enough to stay loyal. "You were imprisoned the whole time?" Moody asked. No. Remus twisted his mouth nervously. "They broke my wand, but I could have left any time. I didn't, because I thought, I knew it was only a matter of time before they planned an attack, and I wanted to learn as much as I could." He kept his voice steady the whole time, and hoped he was still a convincing liar. Moody did not comment. "And the attack?" "Right, yeah." Remus nodded. "I had to go with them because one of the other werewolves, he was planning to break from the pack. He wanted to be peaceful, get away from Greyback. He was my ally." Remus felt Sirius's eyes on him, and he hoped it was all in his head. "So I helped him, and he helped me. He led the others away, and I stayed back to stop anyone from trying to attack the house." "While you were a wolf?" "Yeah, I can think better when there are other wolves there. I tried to warn Mr. and Mrs. Tonks. I howled, so that they'd know they were in danger." "Ah, so that was you." Moody nodded. "Ted said something about that." "You've seen them? Are they okay?" "Shaken up, but no harm done." Moody gave a curt nod. "How many of Greyback's pack have defected?" "I don't know, at least half. Maybe there's only 4 or 5 left who are loyal now." "Good to know. Can you give me names?" "They didn't use any names." Another lie, but he just couldn't do it. "Right." Moody nodded. He watched Remus for a bit longer, then he sniffed and stood up. "Lie low for a bit, yeah? I'll be in touch." He turned to leave. "Wait!" Remus reached out. Moody turned back, a curious look on his face. Remus bit his lip. "The body," he said. "Gaius. That was me. I killed him." Saying it out loud made it distressingly real. He felt queasy, and didn't think he'd be able to look at Sirius in the eye ever again. Moody kept looking at him. He tilted his head. "While you were a wolf?" "Yeah." "And he was a wolf, trying to attack a young family?" "Yeah, but..." "This is a war, Lupin. Get some rest. Don't dwell on it." And he left, and that was it. Everything Remus had put himself through for almost 30 days boiled down to a few key tactical points. He fidgeted with the blanket. It was old and bobbly, and reminded him of the rough army-style blankets he'd grown up with. Sirius was still standing by, watching him. But Remus couldn't look up. He just couldn't. Thankfully, Sirius broke the silence first. "Got your Patronus?" "Bloody hell, where did you learn to do that?" "Oh." Remus nodded, still looking down. "Yeah, I dunno. I've seen Ferox do it once." "Without your wand?" "I didn't need it. Not always." "Oh." More silence. And then... "I missed you so fucking much!" Sirius burst out, with such force and passion that Remus finally looked up at him. His eyes were wide and shimmering with tears. He looked as exhausted as Remus felt, and Remus realised that he must have been up all night too. I missed you too. Sirius bolted towards Remus, arms out, but hung back at the last moment. Is it okay? Remus nodded, reaching for him, and Sirius came over and enveloped him in a hug that went on for long, wonderful minutes. Remus felt as if he'd been finally given the permission to exhale. He closed his eyes and felt the warm, comforting weight of Sirius against him. I'm sorry, Remus whispered into Sirius's hair. I'm so sorry that I was gone so long. Sirius pulled away finally, wiping his eyes briskly. You better have this potion. He reached for the bottle and uncorked it. Thanks, Remus said, too tired to argue. He took the potion and gulped it down for a few seconds. Shall I let you rest? Sirius asked anxiously. Remus shook his head. No, please stay. Will you lie here with me for a bit? There's not much room. Calling me fat. Remus poked his tongue out, shuffling aside to make space. Sirius grinned at him and lay down. He put an arm gently across Remus's shoulder, and they lay on their sides facing each other. Does James hate me? Remus asked finally. What? Sirius frowned. Oh God, he was so beautiful this close up. How had Remus forgotten? No, of course not. He's got a lot on his mind. His parents aren't well. Oh no, what's wrong? I think they're just old, Sirius said sadly. The war, it's been so much harder lately. Please tell me. You should sleep. Please. Sirius sighed. He looked down, then back up, and his eyes were shining once more. We lost the Pruitts, Gid and Fab. No. It was awful. 5 Death Eaters. 5! I can't believe it. Is Molly okay? I don't think any of us are. Oh, Sirius. Remus hugged him again. I wish I could have been with you. I thought... Sirius shut his eyes and shook his head, hair rustling against the pillow. No, never mind. It's over now. You're here. You're safe. I'm here, Remus repeated, feeling the sleeping draught start to kick in. Sirius stroked his hair gently. Remus. Remus shifted, making himself more comfortable. Please call me Moony. No one has for so long. Moony. Sirius leaned forward and kissed his cheek very gently. I love you. I love you too. Remus smiled, slipping into a warm and happy dream. End of chapter 162.